start recording. Now I'm recording. Okay. So today, the database and why the database is so important to your business. I'm going to use some sports references here. And you'll probably laugh at sports references. Why are you using sports references? Well, it's a good comparison of how important this is, because the agents and the salespeople that are not successful don't understand the importance of their database and how much time they should be spending on their database. And the sports reference to this is this. We'll just go right to football. Football, there's offense and defense. You know, to win, you have to have a good offense. You have to score points to have a good offense. And you have to need a good defense too, to protect what you do with your offense. So what the database to me is, over 30 years of being in real estate, actually next month, June 1992, Jesus, 30 years. I don't have CNN. I don't have, I'm not a multi-millionaire real estate coach where people are paying me lots and lots of money, but I could just say this, at least, that in 30 years of doing the same job, the same thing, and many, many classes, and seeing thousands, not hundreds of agents. I have hundreds of agents right now active, over 500 realtors right now. So just imagine over 30 years, the thousands and thousands of realtors in and out of our office, in and out of real estate, the classes, the technology, the things that I've seen and learned. I think I could legitimately say I have some expertise when it comes to this. So where the database comes in, it's like this. The database, your database is your playbook, your plays, your playbook in getting your offense to score points. And you can't score points if you're spending all of your time on defense, but you have to have a good defense to protect your offense, if that makes sense, right? So I always say to agents, you should be spending most of your time, just back to that football reference, I'm sorry, when they show you the team that usually wins is the one that has the ball the most. Does that make sense? Does that make sense that you're on offense the most? That means the more time you have on the clock in your offense is the more possibility you're going to score points. And then when you score those points, the defense part of it is actually having the expertise to do the business once you've got the business. So your defense is there to handle your clients, make sure you're doing a good job, following up with them, doing a good job so you don't lose those customers, like lose points. Like if you don't have a good balance of your business, of handling it and know how to be a great agent and working with, once you got the buyer, working with that buyer, starting from start to finish and working with their finding a home and holding their hand through the process and organizing the whole transaction and doing those little extras that we're going to talk about in this class later on over the days, is that keeps your clients happy and those referrals coming in. Because if you just score all points and you're great at finding new business, but you don't handle it well, your defense, so to say, is going to fall apart, and then you're going to lose more clients than you got. And then bad business, bad referrals, no one's going to want to use you. The word gets out there, you're not a great agent, even though if you're calling people. So if that makes sense. So those are kind of the references I'm going to go into. And first, some things that I learned is the habits of what not to do. You learn a lot from things that you don't work, plays that don't work, things that don't work, and the habits of people that are not successful. So one of those things is the habits of agents that in their marketing, in their database is, and one of the terms I've heard is use a bumblebee marketing, that you're just running around. You don't have a plan. You're just buzzing around to different things, and like a shotgun approach. You're just trying all different things, and you're like trying to do everything, and you never master anything. You're trying every bit of things out there, and you don't have a plan. So in this class today, I'm going to go over exactly how to organize your database and what I feel is the best way to organize it. A lot of low producers waste a lot of time and energy on things that don't produce. You've got to watch what part of your database is working, who's giving you referrals, who's things that are coming in. Are they getting you to score points? You can have the best plays in the world, but you think they are, but are they working? Are they getting you to the end zone? Are they getting you to those more business? And in real estate and in sales, you have to build that relationship with people. So the people that don't have a successful database of customers or clients or referrals have shallow relationships with people. Just they're not connecting with them. They're just making calls. You can make calls. You could tell how many telemarketer calls you get. You could call and call and call. And those telemarketer calls and calling in general might open up the door, but you have to have that follow-up in that database and building that relationships afterwards. So yes, those telemarketing calls, or you're calling people that you've never called before and building your database, but there's a whole second level to that we're going to go over a little bit today. And the last and most important part is disorganization. Disorganized. Back to that football reference, you have the greatest plays in the world, but if the team is unorganized, if the team is unorganized and they don't know what each other people are doing and don't know what you don't know which way the play is going, and you're disorganized of how to run your database and run your sales, you're not going to move forward. You have those. So those main points, the bumblebee type of marketing, wasting time and energy, and being disorganized is the most common reasons why salespeople fail at what they do. Now with your database, this is very, very important. And I'll jump ahead a little bit here. If you're used to, let's see this, having things to do for the day, you're like, I put things to do for the day, and you get everything done. You're like, if you at the end of the day and you say, I got everything done I needed to get done, sorry, my opinion is you don't have enough to do. You don't. You're not putting enough on your plate. Now, this is the key. This is the key. And this is the next point I'm getting to. So a lot of people, and I lived this way for many years. I'm like, I'm going to have a to-do list, and I'm only going to put things on my to-do list that I could accomplish today. And then at the end of the day, I felt accomplished them. I got everything. I'm clean. I'm OCD. I like a clean slate. I need it. This is what I accomplished. But when you are trying to grow your business and trying to build a database, you have to have even more. Because in real estate, any part of real estate sales, every single person out there in the world is a possible client. You're not going to be able to talk to everybody every day. You're not going to be able to email them. You're not going to be able to talk to them. So you got to put so much on your plate that you have to, this is the key right here, you have to have the number one word, prioritization. You got to be able to prioritize your day. Now I'm going to go over that and ideas with that in today. So you have to prioritize your people in your database, the things that you have to do today. So at the end of the day, you're not getting everything done, but you know at the end of the day, you got your priorities done of what you have. So the person I say that knows how to prioritize is a happier person, a more successful person. They know how to prioritize. Just like in your personal life, if you want to have great relationships with people, you have to prioritize the people you want to spend the most time with. If you're all of a sudden you're just spending your time on any person, that's what I'm trying to say. If you're only having relationships with people you have time for, or put in a day, you probably don't have enough people in your life. Like, I got 3 people. I could obviously talk to those 3 people every day. I'll put it on my to-do list. And then those are my only 3 people I'm going to have a relationship with. You can't think of that. And when you're working on a complete database of people. So there's 3 things that are very important to prioritization, is that you have to, in your database, prioritize your people. And when you prioritize the people in your database, it automatically starts prioritizing your time. And then when you're prioritizing your time, then you can prioritize your activities. So prioritizing the people in your database, prioritizing your time about what those people, and then you can prioritize your activities. It doesn't work in reverse. You can't prioritize your activities, then prioritize your time, then prioritize the people, because if you're prioritizing the activities and have no priority of the people, you might be talking or spending your time with the people that might not bring you as much business as you want it to be. So hopefully that makes sense. And I've read and audio booked lots over the years, dozens and dozens of different self-help books, real estate books, business books. Like, one of my favorites is Think and Grow Rich. Is a great book. I didn't realize when I read it for the first time, because I've always heard about this book. It's a great book if you haven't read it, that it's been around forever. And at one time, and I don't know, I heard this statistic once, is that it was the second highest at the time when it came out. It was the second highest selling book of all time at that time. The only book that was sold more copies before that was the Bible. So this book about Think and Grow Rich, and one of the main points that I took apart is that you got to analyze and learn from the good and the bad. You can't just watch what the successful people are doing, because you try to mimic them and do what they do. That's great, but you also have to watch what the unsuccessful people and the people that lost did, because you don't want to do the same things, and make sure that you're doing the same, because obviously the successful people are not doing the things that the people that are unsuccessful are doing, right? Because they're successful. But if you're only watching what they're doing and learning what they're doing, you're not going to know, oh, wow, I have this one habit or these things, these activities over here. I just thought they weren't that bad, but yeah, that's what the people that are unsuccessful and the people that are not getting anywhere are doing. Just back to that football reference. You could watch, I'm sure I'm never been a football coach, and I just kind of know their job of what to do, but I'm sure they're watching what doesn't work in their own system and other people's system, and try not to do the same things. So here's how to organize. I'm going to talk about organization today, and how to organize your database. So your database, of course, is anybody. That's the great thing about real estate. It's anybody out there, but these are things you want to prioritize. And I like to prioritize them kind of like grades, like A, B, C, D clients. Sometimes I use, instead of A, B, C, like AAA, AA, single A, and then bottom of the list. But let's just, so it's simple, just kind of like you're back in school, your A+, your A's, your B's, your C's, and your D's. F's you shouldn't even get a part of, it's not even part in there. So what A+ clients are. So when you prioritize these people in your database, depending upon what kind of contact management system you're using, either it can be it could be a column if it's a spreadsheet, it could be a highlighted, it could be in your, and again, the best contact management system is, just to go into technology, what the best contact management system is the ones you use. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say this contact management system is better than this one or this one or this one. It's the one that you use, and it's easy to use and accessible mobily and wherever you are. So you just got to pick the one you think is the best for you. And of course, our Century 21 Homestar agents, we've got some great different systems through Century 21. We got Business Builder, we got Moxie Works that just came out. We got lots of good things. And I have other agents that have other systems that they've been using for years at other places, or systems that are not even directly real estate related, but as long as you're managing your people somehow. So in that contact management system could be a way to make sure you could what rate your clients, hot, cold, whatever. Some of these contact management systems that are based for sales already have this, but let's stick with like this system that I'm thinking about. Is that number one, what an A plus? We'll say what is an A plus person in your database? A plus person is people that you may have done business with or have sent you multiple referrals already. Someone, A plus person, is someone that's already been doing business with you and has generated leads and other business for you. You already know, you've had that history. They've already given you business. And this is a past client, a friend, a relative. I have agents that have business from people that never even used them to buy or sell a house, but they're giving them referrals because they know them and trust them and know that they're going to look out for the best interests of their people that they refer. That's an A plus person in your database. So those are always high priority and high contact is A plus person. An A person, to go down the list, is someone that's most likely going to refer you. Someone that and that's why we start as your sphere of influence. Usually your close friends and relatives should be an A or A plus person. Hopefully, your family, friends, like they should refer you people. But that's why I put that plus in there. It's the only level I put a plus. They have given you business. They've proven that it's worked and they've done it. Now the A's are people that most likely will give you referrals. People that you're building a relationship with, a communication with, that have a good rapport with, friends, relatives, past business, just someone you talk to, anybody that you think most likely refer to. That's an A. A B is someone that should refer you business, but they're not doing it automatically. You have to ask for it. So that's like a little step down from that A, is that that A again is someone that you think they should refer you without you even almost asking it, but you should always ask. A plus are people that already have, and that B is someone that you think they know you, they trust you, they know what you're doing, you're staying in touch with them, but you have to ask them. They're not going to automatically think of you all the time. So those are, again, on the high priority of contacting and communicating with, because you have to ask for it. They're not going to talk to, if it's someone that's not looking to buy or sell a house now, but they're thinking, they know a lot of people, they're not going to automatically like, oh yeah, Tony, realtor, I like him, you should use him. But you have to constantly be asking once a month, as often as possible. You feel, hey, by the way, and I'm going to give you some scripts. I'm going to give you some things to say to those people, to ask them for referrals and how to help people. Next is the C, is the people that might refer you to someone. So again, small step down. These are people that might. You've talked to them, you communicated with them, you've had some type of interaction with them in a personal level of a call over time. Could be once a year, could be once every other year. Someone that you just connected with more than they've responded to you. You've had a connection with them, not someone that you've never talked to. They never responded to a text message, never responded to the email. You have no communication with. That's the next line. That's a D. A C is someone that you've at least communicated with and might. because you're like, wow, I made a connection with them. Maybe just one time you call them, but you're still following up with them, and they might, because they haven't said no. That's a C. So the D are just people that I say are just the people that are just in your database, people that know you, that they're on your database as they've been around your email campaigns or know your name, but you've never interacted with them at all. But they're just people that is kind of that, they are the shotgun approach. The D's are the shotgun approach because again, everybody's out there. So you could have 100 people, 200 people, 300 people that are D's that you're just trying to get connected with, trying to. And those F's are people, they're on, do not call. You know you're not going to have a good relationship with them. They give you, they just know they're not going to refer you to anybody at any time and all the way in the future. You just know that they're not even worth. So those are the F's. So again, the A plus is people that have given you referrals, that have done business with you and are big advocates of you. The A people are people that you know that they haven't done business with you. They haven't given you any referrals yet, but you know they will. The B's are the people that you know will give you referrals if you ask for them. And then C is that you've contacted them, you've been in contact with them, or at least once they've talked to you on the phone, but maybe they haven't been picking up their phone over a couple of years because you're still calling on them, but you at least connected with them on a personal note. They've responded to something. And then the D's are the people just you're trying to get a hold of, but they haven't said no, they won't, and they haven't had a conversation with you, but you're just still, trying to get connected with them. And the F's, of course, are the people that don't even bother with that. So hopefully this helps you. What you want to do is target market and systematically market to these people in different ways. Now, this is where the tasks and the priority comes in. So every day you should have your tasks of what you're going to do to prospect and build your database. And these have to be organized by your calls, your follow-up have to be organized by this type of system, because if you have 300 people to follow up with today, I won't say that many, but follow up with that. It could be 5 phone calls, 10 text messages, maybe a couple mailers, and I'm going to go through a little bit of ideas on that, and then 250 emails to people that are just those D's out there. And then you got to set up the systems to put that in place. So those are that's an idea of organizing yourself. And so now I want to go into, this is a lot of my coaching with agents of things to say. So things that you can say to people, because a lot of agents, we want to talk about, like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want them to feel like I'm selling them, or I want them to feel like I'm going to be asking for business every time. Think of this as help. Okay. You got to understand is that you have to think of yourself as you're here to help them. They're not here to help you. Yes, you want business, you're making the call and to communicate with them in hopes they could help you get more business. But that's not how it's supposed to perceive to them. To them is that you are there to help them. How can you help them? And remember that you're there for their referrals and the help there. So I want to give you some things to say, and this is I write this notes right out of Brian Buffini's, one of Brian Buffini's class. He referred to it as the mayor campaign, which I love this. This is a perfect thing that you can say to people when you're around them, when you run into them. And why he called it the mayor campaign is kind of like when you're out there, say you're running for mayor of a city and you're out there meeting people, you have that saying. What do you say to them? Like, hey, how are you? I'm Tony. I'm running for mayor. And the same type of conversation you have to have with them and asking them for their vote, you're just kind of like that. You're trying to introduce you to people, get them into your database, and try to convince them to remember you and use you and how you can help them. So here's a little bit of the script that goes along with it. So if you run into somebody that you want to add to your database, this is one of the questions that you could ask them. It says, oh, by the way, if you were buying or selling, obviously, after you go through the, hi, how are you? How's the family? How things going? This is kind of like the tagline to the end of the conversation. So it says, oh, by the way, if you were buying or selling a home or had a friend or family member that was buying or selling a home soon, do you have an agent you would refer them to? So you're asking them, hey, so if you were buying or selling in the future, had a family member who was buying or selling, do you have an agent that you would refer them to? So this is a way to find out, do they have a trusted real estate advisor? And if they say, oh, no, I don't. Well, can I be that person? I would love to be that person for you and be your trusted. Now, I'm going to give you, right after I go the other side of things, I'll go through some things to say to get that out. And then any agent watching this, again, we're doing this more webinar, call me, text me, email, we'll spend some time out. I will write these exactly out and kind of twerk them, make them your own type thing. So you have them, but I just want to kind of give you an idea of what that is. So now, if they said something to the fact that, well, no, I do have somebody. Oh, who is that person? Oh, and then you want to find out who it is. So if you find out who it is, well, it's my sister. She just got her real estate license or this or that. I'm like, oh, that's great. Of course, that'd be a great trusted person for you to work with. But please keep me in mind, just in case your sister gets busy. I would love to be a backup to her just in case, because let me tell you about this. You don't want to stop contacting someone just because they have someone, because you could still ask them to stay in contact with them just in case they need a backup to that. Because sometimes, hope your sister has a very busy career and sometimes she gets busy and she might not have time for referrals. But in your head, you can think of 87% of realtors get out of the business every 5 years. Her sister who just got her license might not be in real estate within the next 5 years. So you still got to follow up with them. You had a rapport with them, unless they say, don't ever call me again. No, but you at least know they have someone. You write a note to that their sister's in the business. And so it's a talking point the next time you contact them. Like when you contact them the next time, a couple months from now or whatever, see how things are going. Say, hey, how's your sister doing? Hopefully she's doing well. And then maybe you'll find out again, oh, she's out of the business. Oh, I gave her a couple of leads and she never followed up with them. You never know. It's family. You never know what happened. Family argument, something. So stay in the game. You never know when that happens, because if you got to that at least point to connect with them, you're already one step ahead. Stay in the game with them. Let's see here, some other dialogues to use. Okay, now I'm going to go over some ideas on things that you can give people and how to draw their phone number, draw their information and things, and why they want to give you their home address if you want to do some mailers and give them things of value that get their email, get their phone number. So here's a little scripts that in my notes that I've written down. So it says, well, or again, we're back to that. Say, yes, can I be that person that can be your trusted real estate advisor? And they go, yes, you can be. Well, I would like to be that person. And from time to now, this is how you get their address or email. So, and from time to time, I come across things of value that's happening in the real estate market. So time to time, I come across things of value that I get in real estate about interest rates or improving your home, or things that could affect your real estate, and things that might be happening in the market that you want to be concerned about. Because remember, their home is their most usually their biggest investment. So we want to keep them updated. So from time to time, I come across things of value, and I would like to send that information to you, sometimes by mail or email. Can I get your address or email address so I could send you that information? Would that be good? So of course, when you're saying I'm gonna, some time to time I get things of value, how can I send that to you? And if something is, and then this is sometimes the phone number. And if something is so important that's happening in your market or where you live, and I want to get you a hold of you quickly, what's the best number to get a hold of you? So you could ask them. Sometimes things are happening in the market that I want all my clients to know as soon as possible, because interest rates change, markets change, values of homes change. And if something of value, I want to be able to get a hold of you. Also, I want to be able to call you and thank you for any referrals that you send me. So these are just one example, or little examples of things and scripts to kind of draw out their information. So again, you're starting your mayor campaign by asking them, do you have anybody? So if you're ever buying or selling in the near future, or had a family, a friend, who would you use? And if they don't have someone, then you kind of go into these scripts. And again, we'll go more in detail about that one-on-one, and we could kind of build that with you. Now, the next thing I'm going to go over in building a database. And again, trying to do this in an hour is hard. This is just a general idea, because building a database myself, it's a lot. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of building it. Really, it's more of the technical part of prospecting, calls, organization, and systems of like, okay, how to make it easy. So how to make it easy for you. Everybody's different, but how to make it easy for you to find your database. Where is it? What's the system you're using? 2 is, how easy is it for you to add people to it and keep them organized? Keep them organized in that system. 3, not just organized of who they are and finding them and having notes and when you should schedule me next for a call, is but how easy it is for you to see that daily and who you have to call. So you're not going into your data. It's like this example, say, we'll go back to basics. It's a spreadsheet of people. Who are you going to call? You got to make it easy for you to say, boom, it's there. These are the calls I have to make. These are the people I should email. These are the priority, because the A pluses, the A's, the B's, the C's, the D's, what you have to do. So it's organized, so you know what to do that day, because you can't spend your day or most of your time trying to figure it out every day. It's got to be just a systematic systems, and easy in, easy information to find, easy to do's, and do it. And when you have those basic things, now the next step is what information to push to them. Now, a lot of your calls, a lot of your contact, the number one reasons why, one of the top reasons why when I talk to agents, why they don't do it, because they don't know what to say. Why they don't send out emails to everybody they have, because they don't know what to send. So you've got to, and I help any agent out there, think of things that are of value to them that could help them in real estate. The one you want to show them, kind of 2 things you want to show them when you're giving them something of value, is 1, you're kind of showing them value to them, recipe cards or things that are just so not fresh. You know what I mean? Like when you send out, if you send out emails of to your database monthly of just stuff that's canned. Again, it can't hurt, but it's not the best thing to do. Recipe cards or just general hellos, all of that. Again, it's better than nothing, but to be better at it, and I'll just stick with the emails, is something of value, something fresh. What's happening now? Hey, so so I always suggest to agents is to check what's going on with the market there. So if your general database, it's what's happening in the market, what's happening with interest rates, what's happening on a news article about real estate in an area. So I say spend a little time for like your general, if you're doing a monthly email to all your database, do a little bit of spend a little time, an hour max. Now you're not talking about hours of finding an article in different real estate websites. There's Inman News, Inman.com. There's RISmedia.com. You can just go to Cleveland.com or Yahoo.com or hit Yahoo Finance, Google News, hit Finance. There's going to be an article somewhere about what's happening with real estate news. Well, why is that Yahoo, Google, Cleveland.com? Why do they have real estate in articles in there? Well, because they want readers, they want people to see, and it's usually something. So your database might not have saw that, and you're just sharing that with them. That's my opinion. You're giving a value, showing you that you are actively watching. So it's two things. You're giving them something of value to kind of build a connection with, hey, you're one of the few people in my sphere that I want to share this information with. And two, that you're showing your competency level, that you are watching, you are active, you're fresh, you see something, not just some general thing on how to repair your house or clean out your gutters, or is that canned stuff that are like, oh, that's just so canned that on that. Example, like mailers. If you want to do, I stress, one of the things you can do is send out a few mailers every day. Again, the cost of postage, the cost of doing it, but maybe for your A+ people, imagine you had your to-do list every day, and we'll just say on average it's, I don't know, 50 cents. Well, let's run up a dollar to postage, envelope, print, send something, a note or something. Say it's $1, postage going way up over the years. But you sent 3 to 5 a day. That's $3 to $5 a day you're sending. That's like, go to Starbucks, if you cut out your Starbucks coffee, you could send 3 things. And I think a personal note to your A+ people in an envelope with a handwritten thing will go miles. It's worth its weight in gold to send a personal note to somebody. So you spend a few minutes or an hour each day writing 3 to 5 personal notes to people. Hey, thinking about you, what's going on? Or if you want to spend a few minutes more, go try, if you're on their social network or on their Facebook, see what's going on with them. Hey, I just noticed that last month your son graduated from high school. Congratulations. Something on that. You can send just a couple a day. And then again, why this class could go on for hours, then put it in your database to follow up with them a week from now. So your A+ people, you send out a personal note, and then a week from now, because the mail is sketchy, you never know where it's going, you call, Sorry about that. Got kicked off. So hopefully I'm still on here. My internet went out there for a second. So back on here. So back to what I was saying, and I'll wrap this up for the day, is really make sure your database is organized by the A plus A's, B's, C's, D's. F's you don't even put in there, just take them out. Don't even worry about putting those in. Secondly is make sure that you have some scripts and things to say. So you're not figuring this stuff out the day of, like, what should I say to these people? What kind of things? You have some basic scripts and you got to make it your own so you can have that. You got to be organized with your database of getting it in and out there quickly. You can't spend all of your time or majority of your time. It's kind of like, back to the sports analogy, football team. You can't be in the huddle. You only have like, I don't even know, is it 24 seconds, 20, how many seconds do you have before you have to run the play? So think about that. In between calls, in between emails, texts, sending out mailers, whatever you're doing, you have like a shot clock. You have a time in the huddle. You can't be spending more time in the huddle or waiting to take the shot or put the play out there. You gotta have a time. And if you don't do enough contacts each day, if you don't run enough plays each day, you're not going to be able to score enough points. And then to wrap it up is that, think about that of what your day is. A busy agent, where it goes ups and downs for realtors, for salespeople. They talk about the roller coaster of sales. Why it always happens. It's not the market. It's not the market. Imagine this. I was just on a Zoom with Mike Ferrante, our Tuesday meeting. We're talking about the market. As in a market, don't worry about interest rates. Don't worry about what's happening with sales. Example, if you get to the point as a busy agent and you have, you're doing 50 transactions a year and the market comes down by 20%. In real estate, that's like, wow, that's would be a huge drop in real estate, but not to you. Now, the next year you'll have 40 transactions. You're still in business, because the best thing about real estate is that your profit margin is very, very big. It is. I mean, a lot of agents go, oh, well, I don't have that much money, but your profit margin is very, very big. I know agents that you're never running yourself like a complete financial business. That's the beauty about being in real estate. You know why? Because a business, a good business, if you taken any business classes or things out there, is a business like, if they have 10% profit, they're a huge success. 10, 12% profit. That's huge. Most real estate companies and businesses like restaurants, they live by a 5, 6, 7, 8% profit margin. So big companies, when they see a whole market dip 10, 15, 20%, that affects them. But you as an agent, just imagine you made $100,000 a year in real estate. I know there's no way you are spending 90,000 of that money on keeping your business going and only keeping $10,000. That would be a 10% profit margin. You're not. It's probably the other way around. You're 90% profit, but of course we spend the money on personal stuff. That's a different story. Most agents, I spent all the commission I earned. Well, that's personal accounting. You didn't spend it all for business expenses. So the best part about what this business is and sales is, the profit margin for you is so high. When you get this business, you just have to do these things. So the whole point of that was, don't worry about the market. the silver lining about the market is the interest rates go up and people are worried about values of homes. To you as an agent, sorry to say this, don't show this to your buyers or sellers. Who cares where the value of the houses go? To you, your job is to find buyers and sellers. It doesn't matter where the values of the houses are. It doesn't matter where the interest rates are. When I got in the business 30 years ago, the interest rates were about 8.5%. And at that time, 8.5% was extremely low, because just a couple years before that was the first time it ticked under 10% since 1975. So at the time, like, oh my God, it's in the eights. Let's buy houses. Tomorrow, if it jumped from 5% to 8%, everybody would have a heart attack. The whole industry would go crazy. But there was still a market back then. It's all relative. So the silver lining against where the interest rates are going, where values are, and they're in the news. The great thing about that is real estate's always a topic. Everybody you could talk to, anybody you talk to wants to talk about real estate. Rates going up, rates coming down, price is high, price is low, inventory is low. People want to talk about it. You know, people have jobs and things that no one wants to talk about. You know, who wants to talk about, things? Why do people want to talk about real estate? Because it affects them. They own a house, or they are about someday buy a house, or renting. They're living somewhere. So they want to know and talk about it. So all of the point I'm being is, it's not, you're not calling your database for something they don't want to talk about. This is something that interests them. You have things of value to keep them updated about. You're like that investor. I could never be a salesman in the aspect of trying to call people and asking them to invest their money with me. Like if I was a financial planner, I would hate that. I couldn't do it. I would be so terrible at it, because I would have to convince people, anybody, to invest their money with me. And then also, I didn't know who had money. So you had to call people that might never have enough money to invest, might never, might have it with another person, never trust you. But the best part about real estate is that when you're calling on these people, you know that you could be the best person for the job there. And because you could have the skills and you have the knowledge and have the history to do the best job. Not like that financial planner, because every financial planner has lost people money and gained some people's money. But also, you don't have to sell them on using you like someone like that is. You're selling them when they need you. Just like the script I gave you. Do you have somebody? Do you have a trusted person that you're using? If you're buying or selling now, do you have someone that you would use? And if they say no, I say, I would like to be that person. Can I stay in touch with you when you're ready? Can I stay in touch with you? And can I be a resource for your friends and family when they need them? And from time to time, I'm going to contact you, give you some items of value, tell you what's going on in the industry. So, from time to time, I'm going to check in on you to see if you have anybody I can help. Again, check in on you to see if there's anybody that you know that I can help you, help them, and be that trusted advisor to help them with their purchase, with their sale. So again, you're pushing to them in that communication, how you're going to help them and want to help them. And it just helps you with another lead, a possible buyer, a possible seller. So that's it for today. But the bottom line is this. I went over a lot of things just in general about databases and things that you could do with it, but we have to customize it to you. So feel free to call me, text me, email me. I'll put you in my calendar. We'll spend a half hour going over ideas. And this is something built over time. I've had agents that we work on this for weeks, months, years on finding the best, easiest way. So it's a system, and making sure that just in and out, in and out, in and out, and making sure you're getting it done. And I'm happy to do it. I love to do that. I love organization. I love building a database because this is the most important part of the game of real estate and in sales. This is the most important part. So hopefully my little disconnection of the internet didn't didn't stop too much, but remember, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So thanks everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye-bye.